Sam Doecke, and I've got the Aussie Bonsai Bloke channel on YouTube. Been doing it for about 3 years.
Awesome. And awesome. Where in Australia are you?
I'm in South Australia, so the middle of Australia, but down the bottom. So I don't know if you've heard of Kangaroo Island or any of those tourist places, but South Australia, it's not very well known. We're considered the backwater of Australia. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing your morning with us. Right now it's almost 7 p.m. here. And what time is it?
We're about nearly 10:30 now.
Okay. Yeah, at least it's more.
Yeah, on the next day. So we're actually on the Sunday. You guys are Saturday. So
you're talking from the future.
Yes.
Yeah, from the future. You guys are from the past.
Yeah. So I guess the first question that we have for you, since this is coffee with Mari and Jerome, do you drink coffee?
Yeah, but I've already seen it. It's 10 o'clock. I've already had 3, so I've already had too many.
You already had 3 coffees.
Okay.
Yeah. I was sitting around waiting for this meeting, and I just make another one and another one.
So how do you drink your coffee?
Weekdays black. Weekends I put some milk in it. Yeah.
Okay. So you actually have a week coffee and a weekend coffee. The first time I hear that. Cool.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So I guess we always like to start from the beginning when we get to know you. So how did you get started in bonsai?
Probably got started. Well, I got started not that long ago, probably 12 years ago. But originally, my grandma used to talk about bonsai and had us out in the garden doing some gardening, propagating bulbs and seedlings and stuff like that. So she sort of got us into gardening, and then sort of, I guess over the years, just didn't really have a garden myself when we first bought a house. So first few years had weeds up to me waist in the driveway, didn't have any interest in gardening at all. Then I started looking after the lawn. So that sort of got me into gardening, looking after the lawn. Then I started planting a few trees, and believe it or not, the first plants that I planted were lavender bush, and I killed them. I couldn't even look after a lavender bush, which is like the most hardy plant to look after. Couldn't even look after that. Didn't worry about gardening for another couple of years after that disappointment. And then I just sort of slowly started planting some trees, and they started to grow. And then, I don't know, I guess the daughter was probably just born, I think. Yeah, just born. And, the crying kid in the house, I wanted to get out the house. So I'm like, what can I do? I needed, just a day or two on my own out in the shed. So I thought, maybe I'll try my bonsai, because I've always been interested in it. And a guy at work, he did bonsai, and he started talking about it. So I thought, okay. So he took me along. We bought my first bonsai, which was an ash tree. Still alive, still got it today. And that's where it all started. Then I just started collecting trees. I went from 1 tree to 100 in the first year. Mainly just whips from the local hardware shop. Little tiny sticks, seeds as well. And I just planted them all in the garden, the whole lot. Just planted everything in the garden and watched it thicken up, because I wasn't really interested in small trees. So I just put it all in the ground. Yeah.
So how many trees do you have today?
Today I've cut back. I got way overloaded. So at one stage I would have had over 300.
Wow.
All mainly just crappy stock, mainly. And I just had it in a big group with a sprinkler over the top, and it ended up just full of weeds and too hard to manage. Then I still had a few of my good ones, and now I've sort of downsized, sold up a lot of the other stuff, and now I've got about 80 trees.
Still
Yeah.
a lot, but it's a lot better than 3.
Still a lot, yeah.
A lot more
Yeah,
manageable.
still a lot.
Wow.
What are your favorite species in bonsai and why?
Mainly I like deciduous and evergreen. Um, don't really like pines, mainly because I don't know anything about them. I think I only have one red pine, but olive would be my favourite all-time species, I reckon,
Mhm.
because it gets up to 49 degrees Celsius here, which is, I don't know, 125 Fahrenheit maybe. I'm
Wow.
not sure. And olives love it. Olives just grow really good.
But how do you manage to keep deciduous trees in a climate like that, where it gets, you said 125 Fahrenheit?
Yeah, yeah,
How do you
yep.
manage to keep, because I know you have Japanese maples and stuff like this. How do you manage that?
Well, originally they would just burn in the summer, but still survive, but just burn. And have an automatic watering system, so when I'm at work, it waters 4 times a day in the heat.
Okay.
Um, and they would just get burnt. But now I've got a bit of a shade structure up, and the maples have actually got really good leaves on them this year. First year I've had them under shade,
Okay.
and things are growing really good.
So, do you have any favorite styles?
Um, Not really. I'm starting to lean towards this one here, which is um, a new style I'm trying to develop, which grows a bit like the Australian tree. I call it the Mallee style. Leaning towards that. I also like, your informal upright style. Really love that. Um, don't really like Cascade and other styles too much, but mainly informal upright broom. And I'm starting on Mallee style to do some Australian natives.
A Mallee style. What,
Yeah, I call it the Mallee
elaborate
style.
a little more on that?
Well, a lot of our trees here are called mallee trees. We've got mallee tree and eucalyptus, and that's pretty much most of the Australian outback. And our mallee trees grow similar to this. They have, you know, 3 or 4 layers of canopy in the tree, and it's almost like little parachutes of foliage that go up, and it's almost like you've stuck 3 or 4 trees together into one big tree. Like you just overlaid them on top of each other. So if you have a look at the bottom of a tree, it almost looks like a tree there, and then you stick another tree on top, and then another tree. It's like you put 3 or 4 trees together. And they're generally pretty elegant style. You can see the branches all the way up with finer foliage. Eventually, I'll take out more foliage here and have thinner canopies.
Mhm.
But that's how the Australian mallee trees grow. Yeah.
Okay.
That
Sounds like you're inventing a new style. That's really
I
cool.
love it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, just something I'm mucking around with. So it's going to be interesting to see how it turns out. This one, as you can see, it's still in a black pot, so it's only been done for the last 2 or 3 years like that.
Okay. What are the two tree species that you have next to you?
So this one's actually a bottlebrush
Okay.
or a callistemon. I think you guys have one or had one in the past, bottlebrush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have one.
So that's they have the red bottle flowers, as you know, and grow super fast, really, really fast growers, really hardy.
Yeah.
One of the only Australian natives that you can actually dig out the ground. That and probably eucalyptus. A lot of the other ones, you can't dig them. The roots go so far away in all the dry soil that they just die if you try and dig them up. But the bottlebrush you can quite often dig and get away with. So that's that one. And this side here, we've got the pomegranate.
Oh, cool.
So that's the broom there. So that was one of my first ever bonsais. That was the first ever one that I styled, was that one, and I did this really long, ugly looking S-curved thing with wire with this ugly looking cascade. I thought it was great. I was really impressed with it. Showed my friend, showed him photos, and he was like, "Oh yeah, looks good, yeah." And I was like, "Man, come on, it looks great. Come on." And looking back, it looked like a really, really bad, crappy tree. So once I realised how bad it was, I just cut everything off and chucked it in the ground for about 5 years, and dug it up maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and I've just been developing it ever since.
Looks great.
Yeah.
Here it's actually really hard to find a pomegranate with that trunk that thick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is really nice. And also your Bottlebrush is really nice too. I actually remember that when we did those Bottlebrush's videos, I had a lot of our subscribers saying like, oh, like from Australia and we have those everywhere or something like that. So I'm guessing that's a is very popular there.
I think it is native to Australia, Bottlebrush, right?
Yeah, yep. I think pretty sure it is native, yeah.
I think they're great species for bonsai, the Bottlebrush. I mean, they have small leaves, and even a young tree can look very old very quickly with the rough bark. And perfect. It grows fast. It's very forgiving. So great species.
Yeah.
You see it a lot.
Yeah, super fast growing.
Yeah.
And they also, sorry, what was that?
No, I was gonna say, do you collect or how?
Yeah, so I do collect. I collect bottle brushes. This one here I didn't collect. I just bought this one with one little shoot on it that someone collected for $30 or something, and mainly bought it for the pot. It had a nice pot, and I was going to throw the tree away, but I thought, no, I'll just put it in a bigger pot and let it grow, and it's just cranked along really well.
Wait, did you?
Also, I collect. Sorry, what was that?
No, I was gonna. Did you say $30?
Yeah, $30. Yeah, but it was only the trunk. Yeah, yeah. Things are cheaper in Australia, especially South Australia, where no one has much money. Things are a lot cheaper.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gotta go there and see how we can sneak those trees in the airplane.
Yeah.
Wow,
that's why we're the backwater of Australia.
So you got this in the black market of bonsai?
No, I got this at a show. The city of South Australia is Adelaide, so I got that at the Adelaide show.
Okay.
It's really
nice. Yeah, bonsai show.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Are you planning to?
Also.
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Collecting olives. I collect a lot of olives too, because we have olives on the side of the road just growing wild. Like we can just go into the Adelaide Hills and dig up 20, 30 olives on the side of the road, and a lot of councils even give you a permit to dig them up because they're classed as a weed. So we have lots and lots of olives, ranging from trunks this big to little things.
Wow.
Some broken off branches. So we have a lot of olives we can collect also.
I'm a little bit jealous.
He's a lot.
Sam, what are your advices for a beginner starting in bonsai? Like if you had to give us like 3 advices.
Or something that you know now that you wish you knew before.
Yes.
One thing I wish I knew before is don't take advice from everybody. There's a lot of people out there. Normally I say, my saying is the people that try to talk the most to you probably know the least. So just be careful. Look for the quiet guy in the corner that's, not saying much. He's probably got the best trees. Apart from that, I would say have fun. That's the main thing we do it for, just to have fun. And third thing, I would probably say don't overwork your trees. If you find you're overworking your tree, go and buy some more trees so you can keep working on them. Don't overwork one tree. If you're overworking a tree, you don't have enough trees. Me, I can't overwork a tree because I run out of time.
That's a very good advice, actually. Yeah. So get 300 trees and you'll never overwork a single tree. Simple.
Yeah, get 300 and you'll never overwork a tree.
Exactly.
And then you'll come back 5 years' time and you'll have a heap of trunks sitting there and you'll be able to work on them.
That's true.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I like what you said about not taking the advice of everyone. Actually, I would say the people that will know that, I wouldn't say that some people know more than others specifically, but I would take advice from someone that has a climate like the one that you are in. So let's say that you are like in Australia, and then you will be like a great or like the best piece of advice because you have the same environment. So the environment of the tree is so vital. We always were, like when we were in Florida, there were things that we could get away with that other people will not get away in other places. So, sometimes they would be like, well, I cannot do that here. Or they will do it, thinking that they can. So for us, it's always important to say, like, make sure that you know your climate, and everything that we're doing here doesn't apply to every single climate and everybody. So it's really good to know which advice you're gonna take, and should be someone that has similar climate as you have.
Yeah, definitely. Like horticulture is number one in bonsai. You can't keep the tree alive. You have no tree. So definitely horticulture. And on top of that, also, I would say, go and look at the person that's teaching you trees. And if they have good trees, they'll be great to learn from. But if they have crappy trees, go somewhere else.
Yeah, it's that simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So awesome. I think we cover all questions we have for you. But thank you so much for being with us today too, and for telling us a little bit more about yourself and about your experience. And we're looking forward to see, specifically me, I'm looking forward to see that video with the Bottlebrush.
For sure, me too. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for inviting me. Really cool. Good chat. Thanks very much.
Of course,
Thank you.
and we'll see you around.
Yeah.
No worries. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers, bye.